Everyone, and welcome to my presentation on test prep. So this presentation is about tests and how to best prepare for the tests you may encounter in high school. So the truth is that high school requires a lot of tests. In fact, the average high schooler takes 32 tests a year. And in the US, tests play a large role in the student's final grade. So oftentimes you'll see that maybe the final exam is 25% of your grade or 30% of your grade, or just tests in general, including the final and midterms or other exams you may take. Maybe they constitute 50% of your grade in the class. So tests play a large role here in the US and in your final grade. So in this presentation, we will give you advice. I will give you advice on how to succeed while taking tests. So before I get into the specific advice, I'd like to talk a little bit more about why we take tests in the first place. The main purpose of tests are to measure academic progress and performance. That's the main reason why we take tests after learning a certain concept in school. But tests are also a signal to college of your academic abilities. Hence, the SAT and ACT are frequent tests that are required before you get admission into college, although those requirements are starting to change. Tests are also a way for you to earn college credit. Perhaps you're taking an AP class or a dual enrollment class, and if you do well on the test in that class, you will get college credit. So these are things to keep in mind, and these are the reasons why we take tests in the US. So let's talk a little bit more about how to prepare for tests, how to prepare for exams. Just as a caveat, I'm going to be using tests and exams interchangeably. So for your regular everyday exams that you get in class after learning a certain topic or concept, the main way to prepare for that exam is by taking good notes in class, participating in class, and then studying actively. So studying actively is not just reading your notes, but it's making sure that you're engaging with the material. So it's giving yourself practice tests. It's using flashcards. It's quizzing your friends, doing mind maps and mind dumps. It's making sure that you're using the knowledge gained in class while studying and not just reading over your tests. So that's something that students really need to focus on is studying actively and not just studying passively. How do you prepare for SAT and ACT? Well, before we talk about that, I'll talk a little bit more about what the SAT and ACT are. They are two exams that measure your academic readiness for college. Usually, when students take a test to get admission to college in the US, they either take the ACT, SAT, or the ACT. You don't have to take both. You can take either one. And you typically submit those scores along with your college application when you're applying for college. So these tests are mainly used to measure your academic readiness for college, as well as for college admission counselors to see how prepared you are for college level coursework and rigor. So how do you prepare for these tests specifically? One is you have to be familiar with the format. You will find that if you do take the SAT or the ACT, it's going to be pretty different from a lot of the exams that you have taken back in your school because they each follow their own formats. So you have to be familiar with the format. But that's okay because resources like Khan Academy can help with that. There's many resources online and YouTube videos online that can help you in learning about the format of the SAT and ACT and also help you in preparing. And yeah, like I mentioned, Khan Academy is a really great resource. It's free and there's almost like an unlimited amount of resources on Khan Academy to help you prepare for the SAT. Third piece of advice is to practice. Make sure to take full-length tests online to build confidence and endurance. Four is that you want to analyze your performance and make changes going forward. Focus on the topics that you find the most difficult and improve your skills on those select topics. So it makes more sense to focus more on what you find the most difficult and try to improve your performance in those select categories because that is a way to study efficiently instead of just studying a broad range of things and including the things that you already know. So focus on the things that you don't. How to prepare for the AP exam. So let's talk a little bit more about the AP exam. AP stands for Advanced Placement. Advanced Placement is college level courses that one can take in high school. And by doing well on the AP test, which is the final exam for an AP course, you can earn college credits. So that can help you save money and time in college in the future if you choose to go to college. So how do you prepare for the AP exam specifically? Like the SAT, AP exams also have their own specific formats, but usually your AP teacher will teach you how to prepare for the AP exam format. So you don't necessarily have to worry about finding out what to prepare for. Your AP exam teacher can teach you, or your AP teacher can teach you how to prepare for the AP exam. So definitely rely on your teachers when it comes to preparing for the exam. Uh, so College Board also offers AP resources. So College Board is the uh, organization that administers the AP exam. And if you go onto the website, they have a bunch of AP resources that you can draw from. And like I mentioned with the SAT and the ACT, it's important to take practice exams. Practice exams are a great way to study actively. A key tip is to focus on understanding the concepts and not just memorization. So you want to understand the concepts deeply. You want to be able to teach it to somebody and not just memorize it. So let's talk a little bit more about test anxiety. Test anxiety is something that many students deal with. I've dealt with it in the past because here in the US, tests are super important for your grades. So that can generate a lot of anxiety, a lot of worries, which is understandable. So let's talk a little bit about it. Test anxiety. So many people have test anxiety. Many people also are dealing with outside circumstances that prevent them from doing well on an exam. We understand that. And here are ways to deal with test anxiety if you have it. So one is to prepare thoroughly. You want to make sure that you, like I mentioned, studied actively. Maybe you quiz with your friends, you made flashcards. Prepare thoroughly. If you feel confident and you feel that you prepared thoroughly for the exam, then you are going to feel less anxious before you take it. Two is to practice relaxation techniques. Breathe in and out and practice positive self-talk. Three, focus on the present. Focus on the test and its questions, not on the future. Four, seek support. If you are experiencing extreme test anxiety, consider speaking to someone about it. And five, be realistic. Remember that your future is not dictated by one test. Take it easy on yourself. Chances are 5 years from now, even a year from now, you're not going to remember what test you took this week or what test you took this month. It probably won't even have a great impact on your future career or your future life. So just remember to be realistic and take it easy. Now let's talk a little bit more about something that's pretty interesting. Are tests even a good way to measure knowledge? There has been much academic research and debate about whether tests are a good way to measure knowledge. They are certainly convenient, but are they an accurate depiction of someone's knowledge? What do you think? Some people say yes, that testing is a great way of measuring knowledge, and that's quite convenient. Some argue that testing actually helps to improve a student's knowledge and retention of a certain subject. Testing can allow teachers to also gauge your understanding. But others disagree. Others argue that testing may not capture the full ability of a student. Tests may not provide the full picture of a student's knowledge or progress, especially since many students may suffer from testing anxiety. Additionally, tests may not measure important skills like creativity, problem solving, teamwork, and more. So this is just the food for thought, maybe something to consider. And I'm not saying that you have to go to your next exam and basically flunk it because aren't the best measure for intelligence. But I'm just wanting to let you know that a test is not going to dictate your future, and that a test is not the sole measure for intelligence. Just because you do bad on the test does not mean that you are not an intelligent person. So, conclusion. So, just to repeat the two pretty important pieces of advice that will sort of summarize and end this presentation is that one, tests are important and will stay in the education system for a while. So, definitely try to take the advice of this presentation and improve your test taking skills. And two, adapt to testing and take our advice so that you can succeed and be prepared.